So I am running way behind on this one, but I have just finished playing the new Tomb Raider game, and because it's flown almost completely under the radar, I do want to give it a bit of a spotlight here. So these are my thoughts on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. A quick reminder, I have a new channel with some cool new content. That channel is called Loverboy Media. You should go and check it out. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the third and possible final entry in the rebooted Tomb Raider series, this time developed by Eidos Montreal, who has taken over from Crystal Dynamics, who is responsible for the last two games. In this game, Lara Croft's ongoing identity crisis continues deep in the South American jungle after her quest for answers regarding her past leads her to inadvertently set off the apocalypse, which of course she then has to stop. And I'm trying to imagine a reality in which the game is just her avoiding all responsibility of that, like just I'm gonna hide out in a bunker and pretend this isn't actually happening. Never let me develop a game, ever. Now, for a bit of context on my relationship with the rebooted series, I was never really a fan of Tomb Raider until this revamp. Uncharted was my go-to action-adventure series, and when the Tomb Raider reboot rolled around, it filled this gritty, scrappy, filthy survival space in the action genre, and I soaked that shit up. The actual, original reboot is possibly one of my favorite games of all time, and I really loved Rise of the Tomb Raider as well, even though I feel like it was really let down in its final stages due to its storytelling and just a whole bunch of stuff in there that was a bit messy. But overall, I still really dug that game. And I think I might actually be able to say that Shadow is my favorite of the three, or at least it's the one that's the most confident and fun to play. It's pretty much the same formula from previous outings, though it's been refined and improved in pretty much every way it can be. And the way I see it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And definitely don't try to completely innovate the whole thing and add in a bunch of new mechanics that are just gonna divide people. I mean, Uncharted never changed much. It just got smarter, faster, and bigger. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider follows that same framework, but with one key difference. It got scarier. See, this is where Shadow thrives. The team behind it really pushed this South American setting and all of the Aztec culture and lore, and from that angle alone, I think it's really worth your time. This game is practically dripping with atmosphere thanks to its fantastic approach to designing dense, textured, and layered locations and then filling that space with a rich and complex soundscape. The jungle feels truly alive in this game, even in its most linear sequences. It's all about density. Keep the trees thick and the sounds they make even thicker. The game is absolutely exploding with shades of subtropical blue and green that are just gorgeous to look at, and the sounds of wind, water, birds, animals, just everything. It's totally explosive. When the game shifts into that whole tomb raiding thing, it brings that same level of craft into the depths below the jungle, plunging the visual vibrancy from above ground into nightmarish darkness where things creak and moan and snap and scream. And the score by Brian De Oliveira really escalates down there, adding in these whistles and strings and percussion that's really authentic and totally terrifying. I mean, there's genuinely uncomfortable moments down there. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this might be the most authentically terrifying non-horror game I've ever played. There's some moments, particularly later in the game, where I was like, nope, I'm not going in there, I'm not doing that, that's not happening. And as much as I was kind of living through hell in those sequences, they were totally brilliant. Watching Lara really peak with the whole losing her shit thing is a blast here too, and while I think the Aztec apocalypse and her emotional journey don't tie together quite as well as things did in Rise, I think this game definitely has her most affecting character moments. That's partially because of the incredible animation in cutscenes as well as the performances from Camilla Luddington and the rest of the cast, but I think it's mainly because by now we get the sense that in Lara's journey to find herself, she's kind of losing herself completely, and that leads to moments of genuine rage and confusion that stack up and really resonate. This thing Lara's going through with do I actually make everything worse is really powerful, and there's times where the game ties it back into Lara's past with a really strong sense of dramatic oomph. Look, maybe this game isn't all that great, but to me, it's almost totally right. I really love getting these decently sized sandboxes to just explore every inch of and burn through all of these collectibles that are revealing these fascinating stories about the place that you're in. I love the way this game works to immerse you in its world through authentic and creative design that seeks to overwhelm and engulf you. I love the way this game captures this sense of adventure through the lens of someone who sees that adventure as a responsibility and not a hobby. I think that despite flying almost completely under the radar, Shadow of the Tomb Raider might seriously be worth your time. Consider it. So those are my thoughts on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Have you played it yet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like this video? Well, of course you did. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel down there somewhere, as well as check out my new channel, Loverboy Media. You can also support us on Patreon if you feel like doing so. Thank you so much to anyone who is doing that already. You can get a bunch of cool rewards for signing up to that. We also have a Twitter at Loverboy Media and Instagram Breaking Banter. That's all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.